Hello, my name is Tyler, and today we're going to be building this workflow where we take prompt and other fields. We're going to send that to KaiAI for Nano Banana Pro. Okay, we'll be first generating an image like this, which is just kind of like sort of like a comic strip. Then once we have this image and we run through the video generation and it's successful, then we'll animate that comic strip and add music like this. Okay, so that is what we are building today. And so what we need to do next is understand how we're going to be using KaiAI to do this. Okay, so KaiAI is what I use basically for all of my image generation models, image and video generation models, because you have everything in one API. And as I have mentioned in other videos, the HTTP request node is one of the most powerful nodes. And since we don't have a node for this, it makes it very simple, and I already have it done for you. So just go ahead and here in KaiAI, create an account. And then once you create an account, like I have said before, I would recommend adding a few dollars. I think you get some free credits. So you may be able to get away with using those free credits for like a test trial. But then once you are finished at the top rate, you would go click on your account, then go to market. And this is going to show you all of the models that you can use, right? You can sort by text to video, video to video, speech to video. There's all these things, but we are going to be using 2.6. And then we're also going to be using Nano Banana Pro right down here. And you can also get this as part of my free community in the content generation blueprints section here within that. And what we would need to do here is we do need to get an API key. So on the left-hand side here, you can see API keys, and you would want to create a new key. So you can name this whatever you would like. I can name it n8n, and then you would copy this key, and then we will be using it to create our credential. I highly recommend KaiAI because it's not just for one, it's simple, but two, once you learn how to do one API request, you can do it for any other model. Okay, so now that we're done with that, let's talk about creating the Postgres data tables or just n8n's data tables. So I'm using Hostinger, so I have a Postgres container that I store everything on, but you can also just use data tables within n8n. They are becoming better and better. And what I'm doing is I'm just logging everything I'm doing at every part of this workflow. So the first thing we're gonna do is create the two different tables that are for workflow runs and workflow events. They are separate because workflow run is when we start something, and then whenever it's the whole thing is completed, and events are things in between where we are creating an image, we are waiting for a webhook, or we're starting video generation task, etc. There's a few things, and it also accounts for failures. Whenever you import this, you could skip this, or you can go ahead and connect your Postgres account to this. n8n does have the Postgres credentials and show you kind of how to do it if you're not doing this through a VPS. I would recommend maybe just using data tables or saving this until you get the workflow going and then just replacing what I have with data tables. But they do have all the information on here on how to integrate and create your own pet Postgres server. We have now created those tables. Now we're going to start with the image creation task. Okay, so what I'm doing here is, for our testing purposes, I'm executing a workflow manually. So let's go ahead and run this. What this is going to do is I'm going to create a UUID from the crypto node. I'm just going to kind of, in this model information node, I have some of the prompts that I want to use. So I want to be aspect ratio, I want the prompt, the aspect ratio, the model. This is my callback webhook that I'm using. So because I'm using webhooks, you have to create a callback webhook, which I'll show you in the next step. This is the resolution, the output format, and then of course, this is the UUID that I'm saving within my data tables. This is actually something that you could skip if you decide not to use tables, okay? So what I did, this is just setting information set, in my opinion, is a very powerful node. So I'm just setting all the information to be used, and then I record my workflow starting, and then here is the HTTP request that I'm using. So right here. So this is the actual data for the post request for the body. And as you can see, it's just filling in all of my information. And then whenever it does that, I got a success back, and they give you a task and record ID. The task ID is important for the webhook. Okay, and then I just update the workflow with that task ID. And so just real quick, how I got that, if we go back to KaiAI and go to the models market, I went to Nano Banana Pro. So whenever you come here, they have their API, and they have two, a create task and a query task. I basically took their API, I scrolled down, this just explains, like, here's all of the aspect ratios that you can choose from. Here are all the input resolutions. You can do PNG or JPEG. But I took this curl command, I copy and pasted that, and I put that into an HTTP request node within n8n, and then I just had to modify it. Okay, so here though is where we need to add our API key. So for credential type, I created a header auth, right? So you need authentication, right? It asks you if you would just copy that curl command and paste it here by using the import curl command. Then what it's going to do is it's going to wants you to hard code your API key. Don't do that ever. So whenever you have a header, you're going to use generic credential type. Then you're going to use the header auth for the auth type. And then you're going to create this, right? So what I did was the name is authorization, and then the value is bearer space, and then your API key. So look, just to kind of give you what it would look like, it'd be bearer space and then your API key. So then you would copy that and put it here for the value, okay? And then that will be your key, okay? So then you're going to use that because we'll be using this a lot of other places. Now it's not hard coded, and so you can also, I can share this with you very easily because, you know, it's not going to share my actual credentials. It's just going to have you put in these yourself. Okay, great. We are about halfway done. Now we are going to look at the webhook check for image and then start the video generation task. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the next lane. So what we have is a webhook. What this webhook is going to do is we have this production URL. This webhook URL, if we basically copy this, this is what we put into the model information right here. This is the webhook. Okay, so we basically copy and pasted that right there. And so then what that's going to do is Kai AI received this request, and they're going to send us back something, and this webhook is going to be waiting for that request. So right here, we actually have this. So we have this request running. It gives you, this is the input. This is everything that we had given it. You can even see the callback URL and the model we called. So if we refresh this, right? So it's still running, it's still creating the image. And if you go to just logs over on the left-hand side, this is where you can see this. Okay, so I'm just going to basically kind of keep refreshing this until this says success, and then we should get that callback and it should go through that next lane. Okay, so here it's finished. We got a success. It actually already is starting on the video, but that's okay. So what you can do here is you actually view the result. So if I click this, you can actually see the result right here of this image, right? But we're going to go ahead and go back. Okay, so now the problem is in the workflow, if you're using callbacks, is the editor itself is not going to show it. So you have to go to executions. Okay, so now that we're in executions, this was the last one. You can see here that this is the lane that we went through, right? So this was waiting on the webhook from the image. So this is everything that we had gotten back from the webhook from Kai AI. And basically I took all this information, I just had a set node, and I just took all of that and put it into fields. And so then over here on the right-hand side, you can see this is the actual output. So we have this is the webhook URL that we used. This is the callback for the video that we will be using. And this is the prompt that we will be using as well for the video. But you can also just take this result URL, and that's actually where the image is. And there you go. This is the image, okay? So this is what it actually created. Pretty cool, right? So it's 4K high res. You can see one thing about Nano Banana Pro, man, I gotta say, is the text is so good inside of these images. It's crazy. So what's gonna happen though is we're basically gonna be animating this for the video. Now we're done with the webhook check and starting the video generation task. We can move on to checking the video webhook callback URL from that and then saving to Google Drive. So in this lane, we have the video webhook, which just like the previous one for Nano Banana, we are getting callback from Kai AI. Then we are going to use a set node to take all that data and just have specific fields for that to be used everywhere else. And this is very powerful because now this means that I can refer to this specific node, settings node, with all information that I need anywhere else in the future nodes for this link. And as we can see, the video generation part of the next lane in our workflow is actually already done. And we know that because the model that it used was WAN 2.6 image to video. Here is our input. We can actually look at the result here, but I'm going to show you how to download it, and then it'll be uploaded to Google Drive. So if we come back here, right? So now I'm in the execution, right? Because we're using callbacks, right? If you were using like wait nodes or something like that, you don't have to do it this way, but I really like using the callbacks. So on this video webhook callback, we got all this data back, just like we did with the image, but this is, just a little different. Like the model right here is different. And again, I have a set node where I'm taking that model, the result video URL. So this is the actual URL where we will download the video, the state, the task ID, update time, the webhook URL that was used, and just some information that I'm going to save into and log with our Postgres database. So I can just take this result video URL right here. Oops, let me copy this. So here is that image into a video. Okay, so they're kind of just like in like a rave, but it's pretty cool that we're taking an image created from Nano Banana and just put that directly into this video image to video generation model. And then again, these two Postgres nodes are for logging. If the video was successful, then this is just showing how to download it. So then we can upload it to Google Drive, which then you can see right here. Okay, great. We are almost done. We have one more step, and I just kind of want to explain logging. Now, I think one thing that a lot of people don't really get or do too much of is logging, especially when things are failing, right? Because it can be hard to debug if you have a little bit more complicated workflows, and at some point it just kind of falls apart and you're not sure why. Of course, you can come to executions. You see I had errors over here, right? This is actually due to the VPS. I had something incorrectly added there for hosting it, but through here though, I was able to, at some points I had insert image failures and insert video failures. I was just able to query the Postgres database, see what that was, or you can even come in here and you can see what it inserted. And you can have like a separate UI to always retrieve from the table and see when the events happened and how much things cost, how many tokens were used, etc. Right? So logging is great, and it's used in production in companies all the time, right? There's software specifically for logging that I use as a software engineer where I work, right? And we're constantly looking at that to see what happened, because you can't really go into the application, try and figure things out, right? You have to have logging somewhere about what happened. And if things are successful, great. You want to know what happened for it to be successful. So I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 nodes just for inserting data into Postgres, right? The first two are actually just for creating the tables. But then I have about half of the nodes here are Postgres nodes, okay? And that's just because I really wanted to make sure that at any point I could also look back and see how many, like, if I want to go back to an image URL, yes, you could go to KaiAI, or I could query my database, maybe set up a simple UI for it, and then just grab all of my images that way as well. Okay, awesome. We are officially done. All of the tasks for this video are complete. This is all free. I'm here to teach you exactly what you need to know for AI automation. And now going into 2026, I want to show you how to get your clients, how to actually make money with these things, and how to understand what's actually needed, what people want. Thank you for watching, and here are the next videos for you to watch.